Hey, this is Kenny from Kenny's Audiophile Rec Reviews. Thank you very much for viewing my channel. As always, those of you who are new to my channel, please like and subscribe. That'll help me out. In this video, I'm going to give two recommended albums. Now, these albums come from one of my viewers. I thought I'd do something different and do a two albums that were suggested to me by one of my viewers. This viewer's name is Larry. And Larry, when you see this two recommendations, you know who you are. The albums that you recommend I listen to. Now, I just happen to have these in my collection, so I checked them out. I listened to them. I think I listened to them twice, and so I have a decent background in terms of what they sound like and giving an opinion. But Larry, thank you very much for the recommendation. I think he left this comment on my I think my top 10 jazz fusion records video. But thank you very much, Larry. So I'm gonna give my opinion and assessment or comment on these two records recommended by Larry. One of them is well known. One of them, the second one, is a little bit on the obscure side. These are two jazz fusion records, and so I hope you like the recommendations and listen to them on YouTube and check them out. But I'm gonna start off with the first one, and the first one is an extremely well-known record. Return to Forever. It's their Romantic Warrior album. This came out in 1976. Includes an all-star cast of Chick Corea playing the keyboards, Stanley Clarke bass, Lenny White drums, Al Di Meola handling the guitar duties. This is like I said, an all-star cast. And this was recommended to me by Larry. I already have this album, so we're gonna talk about this one, see what I think about it. And oh, by the way, after I give my assessment of this record, I'm gonna show you the Return to Forever's album in my collection and tell you which ones I think is the best amongst the ones I have. But this is a rock jazz fusion record. It comes at, I think, the tail end of the Return to Forever group or lineup. I think this might be their top selling record. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comment section below. I could be wrong on that, but this might be the top selling record of Return to Forever. But please correct me in the comment section below. But it's a very interesting record, side one and side two. It's a tale of two stories, and I'm going to get into that in the playing. There's a song called Medieval Overture, a Chick Corea composition, and I was quite struck at first, the initial point in the song where you have this amazing drum solo, this amazing, fabulous playing of Lenny White, this mesmerizing effort by Lenny White, and it sounded fabulous on a three-dimensional soundstage, the drumming of Lenny White on the song Medieval Overture. Such an amazing composition. The band is very tight, very engaged, very, on point on side one. The songs Medieval Overture, Sorceress, which is a Lenny White composition, and Romantic Warrior, a Chick Corea composition. On the composition or song Sorceress, you have an amazing guitar play by Al Di Meola, and it sounds like a jazz fusion funk type of composition. This is a Lenny White composition, and like I said, the playing of Al Di Meola is simply spectacular, and the playing style of Chick Corea on that composition, however, sounds like Herbie Hancock. If you didn't tell me what this album was and asked me who the artist was and asked me who the keyboard player was, it's the same style and playing as Herbie Hancock, in my opinion. But it's Chick Corea nonetheless, and it sounds magnificent. The best composition on this song, and I'm going to get to side two in a minute on this song, I'm going to say on this album, is the song Romantic Warrior, where you have fabulous solos by Al Di Meola and Stanley Clarke, with magnificent drumming by Lenny White and infused with the magnificent keyboard playing of Chick Corea. Side 1, in particular the song Romantic Warrior, is the best by far. If you want to get a feel, a flavor of what this album's all about, listen what the best this album has to offer, in my opinion, I would start with the song Romantic Warrior because of the solos by Stanley Clarke and Al Di Meola. They're just simply fabulous. Side 2, I'm less enthusiastic about. I think the band is very tight, very, like I said, very interwoven, and they represent the jazz rock fusion genre at its best on side 1, whereas side 2, I was less enthusiastic about, in my opinion. It was very good, but the compositions are better on side 1. If I were to rate this 1976 album by Return to Forever, I would give the performance, gosh, I'm going to give it a 7.5 because I think the performance on side 2 kind of, I'm less enthusiastic about, and I think it loses steam on side 2. Don't get me wrong, they play great, but I was not engaged into the compositions like I was on side 1. So I'm going to give the performance a 7.5 and the sound an 8 on this one. But it's a very good recommendation by Larry. I really appreciate it. A very good album. Magnificent play by all 4 musicians on this album. You should check it out on YouTube, but I would start with a composition or song, Romantic Warrior. 1976, Romantic Warrior, Chick Corea, Return to Forever. Check it out on YouTube. But I'm going to show you the Return to Forever albums that I have and tell you which ones I think is the best. And then I'm going to get to my second recommendation. This is Light as a Feather. Chick Corea, Return to Forever. It features the great vocals of Flora Purim and a great song on here called 500 Miles High, and Light as a Feather is great too. And the best composition on this album is called Spain. Check out Spain on this album. It's magnificent. I think this is their premiere album, simply called Return to Forever. This may have come out in the early 1972. Again, here's Romantic Warrior. You see I have 2 copies of it. Return to Forever Live. Hymn of the Seventh Galaxy. And the last one, I think is the last one I have, is called Return to Forever and Music Magic. I got to go back and listen to a lot of these because I have listened to a lot of these quite some time. The best 2 Chick Corea albums, in my opinion, this is number 2. Chick Corea and Return to Forever. This is a great album. This is their premiere album, I believe. And the best, and it's not even close, it is Chick Corea and Return to Forever, Light as a Feather. This is the first Chick Corea album I ever heard. In the 70s, I think this is the best one. And the song Spain, if you want to listen to the best of this album, listen to the song Spain on this album. It's quite good. Great vocals by Flora Purim, and a fabulous example of what 70s fusion jazz is all about. I think this Chick Corea and Return to Forever at its best. Now, my second recommendation, it's not my recommendation, it comes from Larry. But he recommended this album. And when he gave this recommendation, I knew I had at least one album by this artist. And I think I knew I had this, but I had to come in my music room. I read his message real late at night. It could have been close to midnight. So I came out of the music room close to midnight. He recommended this album called the Claus Ogerman Orchestra, Gate of Dreams. And I came to our music room to see if I had it. And this is what I had. 3 copies. Pretty cool because I can listen to the best one. That being said, Claus Ogerman was an amazing arranger and conductor of many, many albums over the decades and years. I'm going to show you a quick sample of some of his albums that he collaborated on. Then I get you a review of this record. Like, for example, this Antonio Carlos Jobim Wave album. He gets credit at the bottom of the record. This one's worn because I had it ever since probably late high school, early college. That was like 45 years ago. Yorubu, and the arranging and conducting on this album is breathtaking. It's like a classical album by Antonio Carlos Jobim. Like I said, the arranging and conducting is fantabulous. One of my favorite albums. Francis Albert Sinatra, Antonio Carlos Jobim, arranged and conducted by Claus Ogerman. He arranged and conducted some tracks on this George Benson Living Inside Your Love album, I believe. I think he did on this album. Yes, he did. And this one, Bill Evans with Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Claus Ogerman. On this album, which came out in 1977, I believe, it is Claus Ogerman, his orchestra, and he's infused the orchestra with jazz fusion musicians. On one track called Time Past Autumn is part 2. He has a great solo by George Benson. Part 3, Time Past Autumn, Part 3, he has a solo by Joe Sample on electric piano, a alto sax solo by David Sanborn, a tenor sax solo by Michael Brecker. On side 2, you have another track called Night Will Fall, and you have an alto sax solo by David Sanborn and an organ solo by Joe Sample. And like I said, he does an amazing job, Claus Ogerman, of infusing an orchestra with jazz fusion musicians. This is a great recommendation by Larry. He recommended that I listen to this. Just happen to have 3 copies in my collection, praise God. And I thoroughly enjoy listening to this one. I probably enjoy listening to this one equally, if not more, than the Return to Forever album. Now, if you want to hear the best that this album has to offer, listen to this track first. You really should. It's called Night Will Fall. It's on side 2. It's 8 minutes and 14 minutes long. And it has an alto sax solo of David Sanborn and an organ solo by Joe Sample. In my opinion, that's what the best of what this album has to offer, although you should listen to the entire album on YouTube. And it sounds actually pretty good on my stereo system. It really does. And it was a great effort by Claus Ogerman. It really was. Like I said, I probably hadn't listened to this like in a decade and a half at least. So thank you very much, Larry, for reminding me it was in my collection. And praise God, I have 3 copies. But I give the sound and the performance 8s on both counts. Check this out on YouTube. An orchestra surrounded or infused with jazz fusion musicians. So thank you very much, Larry, for your recommendations. Return to Forever, Romantic Warrior, 1976 by Chick Corea. Claus Ogerman, 1977, Gate of Dreams. Both of them issued during the disco era, but the great jazz fusion records nonetheless. If you're thinking about the albums I have in the background, I just purchased those today. I've been seeing this album in ads for years, if not decades, in the album cover sleeves. Al Hurt's version of the Green Hornet theme. Just purchased this at a thrift store literally 30 minutes ago as of the recording of this video, and it's hefty in Gotham City. I literally just purchased these 30 minutes ago. Pretty cool. Also purchased these right here. Might as well show them to you real quick. The Challengers. TV themes. Featuring The Man from U.N.C.L.E. And Good Vibes by Cal Jader. I literally, like I said, purchased those. I just got home with my wife, went to the thrift store, and I purchased those at the thrift store. But please leave your comments in the comment section below on the Return to Forever album and the Claus Ogerman album. If you have the Chick Corea album, please leave your comments in the comment section below on that album and tell me what your favorite Chick Corea and Return to Forever album is. And thank you very much, Larry, for the recommendations. happen to have in my collection. That was easy. Thank you all for listening, watching my video, and viewing my video. Please like and subscribe. That'll help me out. God bless, strong love, and keep the peace worldwide.